So on this episode of Estate and CX, I'm with Nigel and Luke from Town and City, father and son. Nigel actually has also a business partner as well. We discuss both of their journeys into estate agency, with Nigel obviously being around for about 25 years working in corporate and independent, and why he set up his business, and then bringing Luke into it, where they see data going, where they see AI, where they see development of their brand. So if you're looking at an agency out there that you're considering about brand rechange, how to find people, how to work with on video, this is a great episode that I reckon you should listen to.
Estate and CX, the UK's #1 estate agency podcast discussing the future of estate agency, entrepreneurship and business with hosts Mark Burgess and Rob Brady.
So Nigel, Luke, welcome to the show.
Thanks very much.
For anyone listening or watching out there, just a bit of intro from you, Nigel, maybe first about your background, what you got here today.
Yeah, no problem. I'm Nigel Wharrad. I'm co-founder of Town and City Homes, one of the owners. And I've been in the industry 20 odd years, 24, 20, I don't know. You lose count, don't you? Started off in a large corporate, one of the biggest, or the biggest at the time. Went through years of that. I was there 10 years, ran several different branches for them. Then moved over to one of the largest independents at that time, to go into lettings. Did a few years there, and then decided to set up Town and City Homes.
And how long has Town and City Homes been going for now?
So this is our 13th year.
13th year.
Yeah.
And Luke?
So I joined Dad
13 years ago.
No, it wasn't.
About 5.
So it was about just over 7 years ago now, straight from school. He didn't want me to join at the start. He said, do something else. Then come to me.
Fucking this industry.
No. I didn't mind him coming into the industry, but I wanted him, my choice, I wanted him to, as I did, I suppose, it's silly really, but well, there's a logic behind it. I wanted him to try go into corporate first, get the structure,
Systems,
the systems, the training, because the training is good, and then come over if he wanted to into Town and City.
Yeah, that's it. I'm only doing it with Dad. That was the only thing I wanted to do. But yeah,
what was your interest like? Did you have any interest at school, or was there anything particular why you thought that you were? I've had people in the past where they were like, I actually thought about doing this, but I actually decided that university wasn't for me or school wasn't for me. Although I had this particular interest, but I don't know, probably surround yourself around property with you in that environment.
Yeah.
You naturally pick it up as a child, don't you? Of like,
it was like whenever I went to Dad's on a weekend, it was just because that's when you started with Deep. It was just constant calls in the car. So you'd hear about these houses.
Yeah.
Then when you got to that 16, 17-year-old, then you heard these £1 million houses and all that sort of stuff. You go, cool, that sounds good. But my mum was an agent as well. So it was always really going to go that way. And that's how I got into it. I wanted to do something sporty, wasn't fit enough. So second choice was stage, and I went for school. It just wasn't for me. I just breezed through, like literally breezed through. Did the bare minimum, and it doesn't reflect now. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It's A stars.
Focused on something that I read something the other day. It was like I think Simon Sinek was talking about. He said as I was a boy in school and my work life, I was always told that I was unfocused. And he said for a lot of the period of the time, I actually felt and believed that I was unfocused until I actually found something that I was actually enjoyable, that I actually could focus on. And I realised it was just I was unfocused on just because I wasn't interested in it.
No, 100%.
And I'm only going to be focused on the stuff that actually drives me.
Yeah.
So, Nigel, let's unpick back to your agency. So you said you started at corporate. What was the corporate you started at?
Countrywide.
Yeah. On the Countrywide voice.
That was at the time. It was one of the big selling pitches. Obviously, we've got over 1,300 branches across Europe because we had something in France, probably one office. And yeah, so that was.
And was it Man and Co, Countrywide, or Bearstow's, or Gear?
Bearstow Eves,
Yeah,
was where I started.
Yeah,
and then went over to Man.
Yeah,
and it was Man Countrywide in them days.
And in sort of 10 years, where was that? Where was that location?
So Bearstow Eves was Ashford.
Yeah.
Then my first branch, which I ran, was Strood, and then went on to Gravesend, Sidcup, back to Gravesend, back to Strood. I did that little triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what did you, going back to what you said about Luke, what did you learn in those days that you sort of took forward?
So the good things were the compliance side in terms of the countrywide training. What you could do, what you could say, what you couldn't say, the laws surrounding the estate agency. I thought that part of the training was really good, and the structure. But then the things I didn't like were I suppose, the way we got taught to sell. Is partly the reason I think I set up my own company, was because of, I think there's a better way, and I think there's a more honest way, and I think there's a more legitimate way of doing the job, rather than, I don't want to tar them all with the same brush because it's not fair. But it's almost unethical to think the way that.
Is it more pressure selling?
Yeah, massively so. And there wasn't really any care about, people.
Yeah.
It was just about
numbers.
That number there.
Yeah.
You've got your targets that week, that month, that quarter, whatever it is that you've got, and you didn't hit it. If you didn't hit it, that you'd be in the naughty boys club down the basement trying to correct that figure, rather than let's work a way of how do we get the best result, looking at it for the customer's point of view as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just all about numbers.
So. And you were there 10 years, overall 10 years, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you went to an independent.
Yeah.
So what was the large independent you worked for?
Hart.
So
yeah.
And how was the experience transitioning from corporate to independent agency? Because when I used to employ people from that, you'd either have some that were like entrepreneurial spirit, who just got it, and others they just couldn't grasp like the hustle. Where do I get listings from?
Yeah.
They should come to me. Like, where are these market appraisals? Go and find them.
Yeah. So as much as Hart had still quite a big reputation, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of what I learned from coming from corporate, countrywide corporate to Hart independent, was the speed things could happen and the freedom that you had to make individual changes to what you're doing at branch level. Countrywide were too big to be able to allow that to happen. I assume that's the way it goes with that type of industry, or that type of size of company, should I say. But Hart, decisions were made quickly. So that's what I learned. If you make decisions quickly, things move quicker in whatever you do, whether it be marketing, you want to do something different, you want to try something new, you can do it. There's a budget, off you go.
And then so you had your experience. So, and you said the at Hart you were lettings.
Yes.
And did you do any sales in that?
No, not with Hart. No.
But countrywide sales.
Countrywide was all sales.
So okay, that's really nice actually, because it's quite nice to have to go from sales to lettings.
I know. And the only reason I did was because my regional manager and director at the time moved to Hart to expand the lettings arm, and then they invited the managers over to go with them. And me and one of my colleagues, we were the first ones to go over, and then more and more and more. And as we were growing throughout Kent and sort of that side Essex, North London,
And because I was only chatting to a friend the other day, and he's in lettings, and he was talking about, I'd like to get into sales a bit more, but obviously he works for a larger business. I'm not going to say who he is. And I was saying, he said, but I need the experience. And I said, you've got a wealth of experience, because you do lettings valuations already,
Yeah.
and actually, like the process isn't really different. It's just
different number.
what you say, and yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It's different
like,
number.
you know, like the services are not 3 types of services. You just sell it, and that's it. Unless you try and do some package, but like, yeah, instead of £1,000 a month, it's like it's 100 grand, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So you're obviously in the independent, and then you what made you frustrated? So you said you were with Hart for 10 years?
No. Hart was only a couple of years.
Okay, so Hart was a couple of years. You've done an independent tour. Why did you go, do you know what, fuck this, I'm going to do it on my own?
I think because it was still the same sort of message coming out of that. Even though they're an independent, they're a large machine, if you like. So it's still the same sort of message coming out as the corporate. It was just you could adapt quicker. So there was less focus on the customer, more focus on those figures. So that didn't change too much. It was just the speed they could act on it. And I just think I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it was done. I didn't like who they were trying to make you to become, which is a little robot in that little army. And no disrespect to anyone that's out there on in that field at the moment, because there's lots of good ones. But how I felt was certainly what they were trying to make me didn't suit the way my personality and what I wanted to be. And hence why I thought, let's do it myself if we can. My God, that was a big leap.
Yeah, I was about to say, so what, so how old were you then, Luke?
But when I joined?
No, as in like when your dad took that, how old
13.
was he? 13. So
Yeah.
you saw your dad go from like...
Hair with no hair now.
At the same time.
Corporate independent and go, right, I'm going to do this on my own.
Yeah.
So like, go back to that too. So what did life look like for you at that point? So Luke was 13.
Yeah.
You're working at Ashford High Street right now.
Yeah.
So you used to come in at lunch, see you.
And so obviously you got another business partner. So
yeah,
like how did that?
So when I was in Countrywide, I headhunted him, recruited him from my biggest competitor because he was their top salesperson, and I thought, yeah, I want him over here. It was my first branch that I just started running, first branch manager job, and I quickly found out who the big guns were in the town. We were way down the bottom of the pecking order. I thought, right, I need somebody that's got that salesy type. So he phoned in, I spoke to him one day, he phoned in the office looking for something else. I said, you need to come down and see me. So anyway, he came down and see me, I interviewed him. I said, yeah, that's how I met him. So, and we stayed close throughout the next few years. He was doing his thing, I was doing my thing, because we separated. He went off and did something else because Countrywide was definitely not in his DNA model, if you like. He's not built for that type of corporate machine. And he went off and did his thing with different agents. I went off and did my thing still with Countrywide and then with Hart. And we stayed connected, and then we were chatting about it, and we said, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
And what was there a deciding moment where you just thought, you got him one day and thought?
I'd been thinking about it for years and years before. And I'd discussed it with different people as well. And it never quite sat. It didn't feel right. It didn't, when the energy just kind of fizzles out of something.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened throughout the time, because I thought I don't want to do it by myself.
Yeah.
I think I need somebody in the room to bounce it always. So yeah, and it never fizzled out. That energy was still there throughout the conversations we were having, and the momentum was picking up speed, and it was getting quicker and quicker. Decisions were being made very quickly. What do we do? How do we do it? What's the next step? How quickly can we get out of here? On to the next bit. What we're going to call ourselves? All those decisions was suddenly being sped up, and we were nailing it. So it just happened, and it happened very quickly, which was good, because I think if it happens too slow, you have second thoughts. You dip out
100%, yeah.
and you go, oh, I wonder if I can. You start having self-doubt. I'd gone through this so many different times, but at that point, it was just all happening so fast. You thought that this is great. There's only one route to go now, and that is let's finalise it, do it.
And how what was it like seeing that, like 13-year-old boy, seeing that your dad?
It was just constant. It was like, as soon as he picked us up, it was deep calling. They'd always have calls all the time in the car, like going from one place to the other. And then it would be calls with the vendors, because it was just them two at the time. So it was just whatever they had to do, they had to do it right now.
And that was 2012? 2012?
That was 2013.
13, yeah.
Yeah, 2013 we opened. Yeah.
And so, did you traditionally go straight into an office in the high street? Did you?
No. We did. We always thought about office in a high street, but because I was adamant that it wasn't needed, and the online agents had just started to come through, but also I'd run offices and nobody comes into the office anymore. So I thought, okay, we don't need one. So we went into Regis service offices, and that's where we sat for 11 years. 11 years. We only just moved in last year. So yeah, we sat there 11 years, and we started off in a shoebox office, and it was like really small. And then as we expanded, we went in the next size office, the next size office, the next size office, and it became really expensive as well.
And so how many people did you expand up to in that period of time?
So the max we had at any one time was 8.
8, yeah.
Yeah. But we expanded quickly.
Yeah.
But as I think when I've speak to a lot of people that start, their first year it goes mad. Second year they do, well as again, and suddenly you start employing people or doing something, expanding. And that's what happened with us. We went crazy. And then second year was full momentum, everybody running, and we thought, right, we need to start filling the gaps, because we're at busting point. You can't physically do the job in the hours we have. We're working till 10, 11 o'clock at night, 6-7 days a week, and it was just crazy. You just couldn't fit it in. So we started recruiting, started building. I, in my infinite wisdom, had a genius idea and said, let's only recruit sort of manager level staff, so that in my mind,
you just have to look after
it
them.
it sounded great, right? Because the customer experience, and this is what I thought, the customer experience was going to be the best, because they're the most knowledgeable. They've been in the industry to a certain point, and in that long enough to be able to know just about everything. They're running branches or have run branches already. Not even thinking about cost or anything like that. Wasn't it? That didn't really. I knew it was there, obviously, and I knew what we had to do. But
when you're growing,
blind faith, I think, overrides your sensibleness, I think. So yeah. So
when you start from zero, and you're going up, you don't think
absolutely. Absolutely.
There might be a downturn or
no. There's no downside.
Every year.
The only way is up. And that we were definitely in that zone. We were definitely in that zone. And I couldn't see a negative. I just genuinely couldn't. So that's what we did. And obviously then market changed, situations changed, things got really, really hard. And obviously the cost on a monthly basis was horrendous, because we'd expanded the office and the wage costs and everything. So we'd added in, the top package on everything, Rightmove, all these other things. So your cost per month was just astronomical, and then suddenly you start losing money. and then you're losing money for a few months, and you're thinking, hang on a minute, this little buffer we've sort of built up, that's starting to eat away. So we need to do something about this if we can't see a change.
Yeah.
And that was a real, because we'd also employed people that we knew. They weren't just randoms, they were people we knew. That was quite possibly one of the hardest times I've had to go through, when you're talking to somebody you know and have worked with, or have worked alongside, or have worked in the same company as, or whatever, and you're saying, "No, I'm really sorry. No, this is not."
And sometimes that process is even drawn out a little bit longer than what you would be normally, because
because the guilt,
it's the vested interest.
Yeah.
Families are broken bread probably at some point together, and that must have been sort of tough. So you went, so you had 8, and what did you end up going down to?
So we ended up with 3, and then, 4, because of Luke, because we also had just taken on Luke.
Let's get a cheap labour in.
Yeah,
I was on payment.
He was in,
and he's like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
You're doing
I'm going.
everything.
Yeah, I'm going.
I know.
So how old were you when you then joined then?
18, straight
18.
from school. I finished sixth form, and just went straight in.
And from the seeing your dad obviously doing that hustle on the phone, speaking to people, doing that as a young child, and then coming into it, from a younger generation, did you walk in there and thought it was all good, or did you think like, why are you doing this, Dad?
I walked into that.
Yeah,
that's what I walked into. I mean, getting rid of these people.
You must have seen behind the scenes of the feeling it.
Yeah, but I knew it was leading up to it.
Yeah.
So I think everyone in the office sort of did, and I was sitting with them, and because these guys were, I don't know what these guys would do. They were at home watching TV or something in deep. It was just me and the other guys. So I was a bit.
That sounds really bad, doesn't it? Like, basically, you go to work, and we're gonna not come to the office, fully knowing that you're the son of one of the owners.
But it was first and last.
Twiddling your thumbs like.
But it was walking into it. It was just, I loved the feeling of everyone on the phone doing something and speaking to. I was always been a people person, and like when they were constantly on the phone, that's what I wanted. I wanted people to call me constantly. So I'd be like, if I was with someone, I go, oh, sorry, did I take the call? There's like an ego thing. But I really liked seeing that growing up, because it was just always business talk and how can we get to this? How can we do this?
Problem solving.
So, yeah, I didn't mind being in the car listening to it. Normal, like whenever we see like the girl, your daughters, like my sisters, they're always on their phone. Like they don't care about like what's going on in the car when they don't realise he's dealing with like a 900 grand house that's going to fall through in the next 30 seconds if he doesn't save it. But I enjoyed that, and I think before going through, that's all I wanted to do was just make the calls, talk to people, show these houses. But your initial question was, yeah, I could see I could be better, 100%. Like,
and what was your first? And it sounds weird, but like, what was your first week like? Like, because obviously, like, you've got your dad next to you. Like, what was the first week that you want to tell?
He's stamping on my foot.
What was your role? Like when you said, right, Dad, I want to be a part of this. I want to help you. I want to go on that journey with you. I've seen 5 years worth of behind the scenes of stuff. Your dad's obviously going to you, don't do it. Go and have a decent career somewhere else that's not going to let me use my hair. You've got a full head of hair.
I was already looking ahead of what I could be doing.
So what was it like for maybe the first week, day, first month for you? What was you doing?
First week was just getting to know the system, all that sort of stuff. Then it was shadowing a couple of viewings, and because we went through what we went through, it was only me to do those viewings.
Yeah.
So that's like your second month in, and I don't know if people do it normally, but I was doing like open days in like first month because there was no one else to do it. But I really enjoyed going from you'd probably say it as well. It's like the bottom of where we were is probably the
Yeah,
worst
yeah.
it was.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Enjoying it going up and up and up, doing the open days, getting used to it, and like there's nowhere you can go.
Yeah.
You're back to it's just me at that open day, and like an 18-year-old boy, just doesn't really know too much, but was wanting to learn, and you have to go through the really really tough times. Like I just remember once it was the most embarrassing thing ever. It was about a boiler. I knew nothing about boilers. It was the only time I would never know everything about property. It was because of this question. They said, "Is there a combi boiler?" I had no idea what a combi boiler was. And it's the only time I was going to get caught not knowing what something was after that stage. So I would read up about everything before. So I rang the vendor. I say, "You got a combi boiler?" "Yeah, I got a combi boiler. It's fine." Yeah. So they ask again, "Is there a tank with it?" So obviously these are first-time buyers. They don't know a lot themselves. They're looking at me going, "Well, there's not going to be a tank with that because it's a combi boiler." Let's have a look. I'm not sure. So I ring the seller up again. "There's not going to be a tank with it, Luke. What are you going on about?" And I've never been so red-faced looking for a tank for a combi boiler. And they're going, "Well, there shouldn't be a combi boiler." So after that, it was just a case of knowing everything about the property every time I went to a property, because I was an 18-year-old, no facial hair, nothing. I looked youthful. So as soon as there was a question that was going to be posed to me, I was not going to know it. But with the backing, obviously, Dad putting the training in and all that sort of stuff, it was just, I didn't ever want to feel like that again.
I remember having a guy come work for me, and he did like viewings and stuff. And then we came back, and it was a letting property, and I said it's going to be painted throughout. And the landlord wanted to do it on Magnolia throughout at that time. And he came back and he went, "Yeah, I said to him it's going to be painted Mongolia throughout." And I was like, "Do you mean Mongolia?" And he's like, "Mongolia?" I was like, "Mongolia?" He's like, "Yeah, the paint colour." I was like, "Magnolia?" He's like, "Oh, mate, for the last 6 months, every time I said I've been painting, I've been telling him it was Mongolia." And I must be thinking, "What's this new in colour? Mongolia colour?" I'm like, "What's this colour?"
It's very cold.
And then they come through and it's like, "It's like Magnolia." Magnolia. No, it's good. I bet the amount of, even when I've gone out and done viewings with landlords, and I go around and see someone, and then you're asking them questions, you're thinking you ain't got a clue.
No.
And I think like the bit is like really being honest. Really, I don't know that. I don't know that question, but I'll find out for you. Like the only thing I can guarantee is I'll find out the answer to it, but I can't guarantee that I know it now.
I didn't feel I could get away with that though, being how young I was.
But yeah, I think it comes with, I mean, as you said, like 18-year-old lad, naturally you have like a certain part of like, I've got something to prove. 100%. I need to know it all. I need to know it all.
Yeah.
And
I think we take a passion about that though as well, in terms of the knowledge about the house, because I think that's really important, that whoever's showing somebody around, they know pretty much everything about that property.
Yeah.
And it's not hard to find out.
No.
It really isn't.
No.
Not as an 18-year-old lad, it's a bit different.
Yeah.
Because even when you've got little information box that tells you what it is,
So
you're not taking it in.
Combi.
Yeah, you're not taking it in, and you don't even know what half of it is.
Yeah.
But I think as time's gone on, obviously as he's learnt as well, and certainly for anyone of an age that's bought a house, and he has now, obviously, but you get to learn all those things, don't you? But it's key, absolutely key. I think. I don't think you can just send anyone out to view a house.
And so, you've been now there 6 years. So, what does town and city look like 6 years ago to probably today?
So different.
In what way?
The way we structure ourselves from the get-go. Like, I think when we start, or when you guys started in, when I joined, you still had that little tweaks of corporate. It was still in there, because it was still like, we're just trying to get listings to pay the bills type of thing. So get anything on at any price and just get it on. Whereas now we sort of pick what we want to and how we want to put it on. And the marketing is just everything we throw into it. Like the social media side, we never did that back then. I think if we started back then, when I first joined, which, you know, an 18-year-old should probably be on social media doing all that stuff, but I wasn't really into it. Is the brand now, we were just speaking about it before, the gap, the brand now would be like so high because you'd have so much behind you. But when the social media comes into it now and the marketing and how we structure it, where we put clients first and all that sort of stuff, it's gone from 0 to 100 because we've made sure everything in the background is working where they're so stress-free, whether it's WhatsApp groups with them as soon as they instruct, or whether it's doing social media before a property goes live. Like we do a week off the market to try and build up that clientele, and you know, we sell some that are off, but some do go. And then it's TikTok, which is absolutely huge right now as well. We've really got into it at the minute, especially myself.
I was going to say, he's
Doing
going
the
into it.
walkthroughs. People love them and hate them. There's no, you get good and bad, and I love replying to the bad comments. It's always people from up north going, "How is this 300 grand? Here's 120."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In my street in Liverpool.
Yeah.
Like 60 grand.
It would be.
Okay, so you've gone obviously the social media route. So you started to go down that route. You've gone for a sort of a rebrand as well recently. You invested in more into AI and technology.
Yeah.
So like, what changed from maybe you joining in the last 6 years to, right, we've got to not just be estate agents anymore and just do like same as what you've probably done for 20 odd years.
I'll be honest, it's you guys.
And just hope for that.
Yeah. When we,
But it must have been but before us. It's never us.
Yeah.
Before it's the step that you guys take.
Yeah.
So where did you see the industry moving, and why did that sort of come on the radar? You start to look thinking, oh, we should think about doing things a little bit differently.
Yeah, I think that was always my side of the business. So I've always wanted to try and be ahead of whatever was coming, whether it be the photography, you know, because there was a lot of agents, certainly when I started Town & City, that were still using, you know, small digital cameras, and they didn't have a wide angle lens. I don't mean a fisheye lens, because I hated those, but just a wide angle lens. So it captured the whole room, right?
Not a awards picture,
yeah? Yeah. So we always tried to be ahead of everything in that way, and then trying to make our systems faster or better for us, and our image to look as we are, I suppose, as forward thinking. Try and make all of that wrap up. And I was always looking at all different things to make that work. And then what I noticed was the competition catching up with certainly the marketing side of things. So everybody then suddenly got better quality photography, or they started to use professionals, or however that came about. So suddenly then I'm sitting there thinking, okay, now how are we different? What can we do to then take that next step forward? And I've always looking around at things like this. And at that stage, that's when I found, obviously, I don't know, it's not, but I know it's not about promoting you guys, but that's when I found, obviously, Iceberg Lifestyle. But what was interesting at that point, as an independent, a small family business, you're on your own, right? And you're in a town with 20, 30, however many other estate agents that nobody wants to talk to you. Nobody wants to help you in any way, shape or form, even if it's just for a chain check, you know? That it's us and them. Doesn't matter how nice you are. They will not talk to you in a sensible way. It just doesn't happen. It's fierce, isn't it? Our industry, and that's the way it's been ever since. Well, it wasn't, but then I think the crash changed that. So it then became fierce. But so to then become part of a group of like-minded people who want to help, want to better themselves and improve the standards, as well as having an effective CRM database nurturing. That was a big part of it for me, because I felt then I had others to then learn from and help and share experiences and go through that. So that to me was kind of half and half, whether it's the sales pitch of, whether what we were going to do next. That sounds like a fantastic idea. So does this. Wow, they come together. Oh my God. So, and then that led to just a understanding a bigger picture of what we do with the people that we get in and how we look after them. And you can call it nurturing, you can call it journeys, you can call it whatever you like. But to me, it's about how you're looking after the people that contact you in any way, shape or form, right? First of all, you've got to get them to contact you, but how you look after them after that, that's what this system and that's what this develops. And that's how we've been able to then see how we move forward and grow.
And so was it that you realising how you bring people to then use you? Is that what you found in, like what you're saying there was like we realised that the game of influencing was going to be the next move. So now you can just do decent photography.
Yeah,
you needed to be
you need to be something.
You need to be something else that influences and people to understand you before they've even stepped through the front door. Is that?
See, I saw that years before we met you guys, right? I saw it and I ignored it.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
Yeah. Because it's going to carry on doing this work.
Yeah.
Because I know it's happening, but it's on my doorstep yet.
I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I genuinely didn't want to do it. I still don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But I know it's an effective way of getting your message across and showing who you are genuinely, right? So
especially when you're in a town full of like 20 other 30
absolutely.
people, brands that just
how'd you get that? How'd you get it? That's the way. Video content, sincerity, be yourself. This is who I am. This is what we do. That is going to get your face, your personality, your beliefs into the people that you need to know, who need to know, who you want to know, right? So I saw it coming and I ignored it because I didn't want to do it. And that was that. And then when we joined, you then have a group of people all saying the same thing, sharing their experiences and showing what they do and how they do it. And certainly from a coaching aspect, just understanding that it's not going to be great first time. So but you have to just jump, right? So once we then, understood it and went, yeah, okay, I get it. This is what we've got to do. Then it's, okay, we were up here, now down here. Now we can see what we need to do, how we need to do it. We're starting to implement it. We understand the benefits of it. And now we've got a clear strategy of what it is for the next steps to grow. And that process came through seeing it, understanding it, watching it, but then actually needing to be told it as well. No, you just need to do it.
And so, because like you've had some great success on TikTok, haven't you? And that's sort of only been a short journey. Like we've been sat in sessions, weren't it?
Yeah.
And when we first started, I was like, just get on video.
Yeah.
Just fucking get on video. And you're like, oh, no. And you had those first couple of videos sent over, and it was like, you could tell like you're just doing the do. And then we only had a session about a month ago. 2 months, 3 months ago, it was when I was like, just TikTok, just reply to those people.
Yeah.
And now you're just like, I don't care about your shit comment. I'm just going to reply to it, and then go from there. So, like, what for anyone out there who might be still stuck in that brand above the door, I'll beat the camera. Like, it's all about the brand. Like, what advice have you got to someone out there who's maybe undertaking that first bit of videos or experimenting with TikTok or doing a walkthrough tour or doing some advice?
the best advice is just keep going.
Yeah.
Because the first few videos, 10, 20 videos, are going to be awful. Like,
And what was that experience like for you? So like, because now you're getting good numbers.
Yeah.
So what was that experience like when you first posted that first one? Did you get 10 likes? Did you get one?
If that. Yeah, if that. It'd probably only be Dad that saw it. It was just, at the first bit was really hard. The walkthroughs always did okay, because people were quite nosy and they want to see. But it was then going from walkthroughs that were getting however many, 10,000, 20,000, 50, whatever it was. And then it was going to ones of you talking. And then you're only getting 3, 4 likes or 500 people. But then I saw another podcast you did, and she said, well, that's 500 people. If they were in a room with you, you'd be like, oh my goodness, 500 people are watching me. And once you get that in your head, where you constantly keep doing it, it's a constant another 500 people, another 1,000, and you're building it up, and then your following's going up. It's only going to be one thing, because off the back of it, a video I did that was about houses not selling. Like, what can you do? You can talk to other agents, or if you're looking to, whatever it was. Someone came to me and said, well, I've seen what you said. Can we have a chat? And I've got their house on, and that was just through TikTok. That was just a minute video.
It's mental.
Just a minute video of me saying what to do if your house is not selling. And they went, oh my God, because they bought into how you're speaking, and that will come over time. It doesn't happen on the first one, because it's going to be crap.
Bit like the combi boiler days, yeah?
It's a bit like that.
Just learning, isn't it?
Just learning.
Yeah, and I think what I've noticed for you guys, you've gone from, especially like, I know TikTok's a different channel, but you've gone from over scripted or perfected thinking about it to like literally like, I'm just going to put a video up now, I'm going to talk on it. Yes, you have to have some professional view of it and some reasons why you're on there, like stupid TikTok dances that some of the agents sometimes do out there.
It's only going to be beneficial. That's all I can say, because the more people see it, the more interaction you're going to get with your brand, your company.
And have you found that on meeting people? Have you gone into valuations and sort of anything changed in interaction?
I've set up a Meet Me, and I've got my Instagram on it, I've got our TikTok on it, and a little bit about myself. And when I get to the valuation, they already know who I am. They go, oh, you're 2 kids. I'm going, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
How do you know I've got 2 kids? And then I'm like, because it was the first valuation I did post doing this video. And it's just that barrier already broken before I've gone through the door. So I've already resonated with them because they've got kids themselves. And then we're talking about how awful it is to have 2 under 2. At night.
We have a podcast on that as well.
Only mean at night. I don't mean during the day. They're brilliant.
Lovely kids.
Yeah.
Don't answer me back.
No tantrums.
And then so you're at this stage now. Okay, let's move on to some AI. Like, where do you see? You say you're looking to the future. So, where do you see AI influencing the industry?
So, I mean, all of the tasks that are time-consuming but necessary, I think AI is going to do them all eventually, won't it? Yeah. Things that are just, you have to do them to get to point B, but the actual bit of doing it is kind of meaningless. It doesn't have any skill to it. It's just a task.
Yeah.
All of those things will be done by AI, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then the service side will still need the personal touch.
Do you think that the service, obviously you're in a smaller team, but their fundamental belief, like the ideology, is to deliver a better experience? Yeah. That's the reason why you predominantly set up the company. Yeah. That was the frustrations. Yeah. And AI will, if you know those other companies who are the big machines, just going to keep going. I'm going to talk about AI. Let's just keep going because we're working it. But they still are admin heavy. Yeah. Numbers. Speak to you for about 2 minutes. And I think like a lot of people, the big key phrase people keep saying is like, it's not AI will replace estate agents. It's estate agents using AI will replace estate agents who are not using AI. Yeah. And so do you find with the freeing up of those tasks in the future, where do you see yourself in how you think Town and City might operate in that way?
I think you get more chance to hold people's hands throughout that process, and I'm not saying we're counsellors or anything like that, but there's a whole lot of stress that goes through it in the moving process, and a lot of time is taken up with maybe, you might have 100 clients on your books right now with sold for sales and all that. You might only speak to a handful of them because that's what you can physically cope with in terms of real hand holding. If you had all of them needing told yet, you wouldn't physically be able to do it. And I think it will help that. And you'll have more time to be able to go, right, what do you actually need? This is what you need. I'm going to show you how to do this. So I think the service standard is going to improve with AI. I think one of the biggest mistakes, me personally, I think agents may do, is use AI for the service. And I think that would be a big mistake because without the personal touch, the natural ability to understand and be compassionate, I think that will be a massive mistake. But I can see agents doing it because it's another part of the job that they won't have to rely upon and have people to do.
Yeah, and I think the training element to that is the key part. It's going back to what you said, like if you had one of your managers in the old days or one of the corporate people training the AI do it in a particular way, it's going to be a fucking car crash if you try and put it onto a business like yours, because it'd be like people like, hang on, I thought Town and City were like these really nice, friendly, and it's like this AI bot's trying to hardball me into like Wolf of Wall Street trying to list my house, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And people just don't see that. And I was when he's been to an agent the other day, he's like, I'm going to get this tech in. I was like, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work that you think it's going to be that way.
No.
But I get what you. I 100% agree with you on that part. I think it's a shift in mindset of removing the fear of freedom of time, thinking, oh, we're just going to be made redundant. To be like, no, actually, I want you to spend more time with these clients.
Yeah.
I want you to deliver a better connected experience because you're not dealing with admin shit behind the scenes.
It's got to be something that we do differently because we're not the biggest at all. But there's got to be something different that you do or we do to the big corporates. And that's one of the things that we're trying to incorporate in every day.
And so one of the things I wanted to touch on, but so you've had a rebrand recently.
Yeah.
And, we had those conversations and I said, Nigel, just don't do it. Just get someone in to do it, after the art run.
Yeah.
And
the WhatsApp message.
Yeah, the WhatsApp. No, I think you just go speak to this person. And we obviously had Sapner talk about an EX10. Everyone has houses or keys, above their logos. How many people have had that? Or so going from like your original brand, and you've had that for 13 years, and naturally you're, I don't want to change it that much. To now it's a revamp. It looks so much more fresher.
Yes.
So how was that approach? How did that approach go for you? If someone's thinking that, sitting there thinking, I probably need a refresh.
Yeah.
But not a refresh and just put another fucking house on my logo.
Yeah.
How was that process unraveled for you as well?
Yeah. So we spoke to a guy called Josh, and we had we went through what does our brand mean? Who are we? What do we do? What does our brand mean? What's the difference between what do we stand for? What's our personality?
How hard was that?
Yeah, really hard. Actually, you'd think it'd be easy.
But when you go, we don't sell houses, and we sell houses or let houses, and you go, okay, what else? And you go,
yeah. What do you mean? So, he then went away, came back. Well, I mean, we loved it straight away, right? But it sounds stupid. He came back. The actual design, love it, right? Love the design, love the colours. And I thought, we match that little bit of vibrancy with the darker tone. So it's a lovely, I like the cerise pink. But with this little character, and it was a playful fox, right? Because, and I don't know whether he came via that from what we said. I'm assuming he did mean it that way. But when we saw it, we thought, oh, that's cute, and that's quite fun. And we can do little things with it. But then when we thought about it, you think about it and, you think, okay, what's the relevance between the fox and selling houses? There's not so much the relevance between the fox and the selling houses. Maybe it's to do with a little bit about our personalities and what we do. And that's the bit of, very resourceful. They can get into anything, any area they want to be in. Foxes are there, but also they're always out looking for houses, aren't they? They're always out looking for somewhere new to sleep, somewhere safe. But they're clever little boys or girls. They're smart animals. So, and that's what we try and be. But they're also playful.
Yeah.
So, I think it resonates with us that way. But I liked the character. I just liked the little. It's something different. Hopefully.
It's been, because like most people just go. I remember when we went for a rebrand with my old company, and like we went for a different version, but at the time they had like 5 different versions hung over from the past. Like, why is that logo on that? Like, why is it? That was like a logo we did like 10 years ago. Why is that on that board? And why is the logo on the office stuff a different logo?
Yeah.
And we went for that process, and everyone was like, we can't lose the essence of the brand. So it's nice to see that evolution for you take place, and then and obviously you as the transition over with us, you've done like some AI websites, and you had that mainframe document. So like, what did you learn in that process as well? Like, because it must have been because when I first met you, it was very much the brand led.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, logo. That's how we've always been.
Yeah.
So now, like, you're still getting on videos.
Yeah.
You're doing the socials. You've got this more playful logo above the door.
Yeah.
You've got a bit more of an essence towards all of it. Like, so what did you learn in just that? Most people think, oh, just do a website. It's like, take all the other stuff that's cool. You just make it a little bit more cooler on this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So not necessarily be a plug for what we do, but like, what did you learn in that process combined with the logo? Because it's pretty much similar times that you've sort of done.
Yeah. I think we did it for that, really.
I mean, the dev behind the scenes, the dev, like, this is taking a bit longer because there's these Fox animations that are now being put into the website. And I was like, I'm keeping quiet. No, I didn't tell them to. No. This guy didn't read that.
But I think it's about finding out.
It was soul searching, wasn't it? What we were doing.
And did you soul search for the brand or just you as individuals?
For both, I think. Really. And I think it's. You could go on this forever, couldn't you? Because you could keep doing this. And I think it's important to keep reminding yourself, because how many times do you sit there and go, why do I do what I do? How do I do it? Why do I do it? What's the reason? And if you haven't got that, I think it is difficult to focus on the right things, because you're always focusing on whatever's put in front of you, whatever's like. We when we started that process, we were sitting there and we were saying, right, okay, so if this is a reason why we do it, and we came up with one of these values of what we believe is important. If this is the reason why we do it, surely the decisions we make got to reflect that. So it can't be driven from how do we get, going back to a corporate way, right? How do we get to 10 valuations, right? So you've got these 3 different things to get that historically may work, or whatever that figure is. If you've got your why, or your reason for doing it, or your value for doing it, and what the outcome you want to happen for other people, then you can build everything around that. And that message, hopefully, that's the plan, isn't it, comes across in what we do. So I think that's a massive change. It's a mind shift, a mindset shift, to not just being an estate agent, but understanding what you do as an estate agent, actually the impact that has on the lives of others, and then, okay, and how seriously do you take your job, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, value-led accountability is the key part to a lot of it. You know what I mean? Like, and people see through it. I've said it before. I had one guy who's basically got some no excuses on his wall above, and I kept on coaching him, and I said for a while, I was like, I'm really bored now because you keep using excuses. And he's got fucking no excuses and everything. And I hope he doesn't listen to this episode. But you have to live by that, because that's the thing that oozes out, and that's the thing that people talk about when you're not in the room.
Yeah,
like I've got an agent not too far from you, and I went to an awards event the other week, and I said the name. She just went on this rant about how she knew him and how she'd done business with him, but none of it was about the process of selling the house. It was about how he made her feel through the transaction, that his problem, and how he was dealing with it. Nothing was about do you know what? I love photo 7 that he took of the kitchen. Like, it was none of that. It was just all about the emotion. She went on for 5 minutes, and I messaged him and said, like, mate, it's so good. I met this lady, and she just spoke about you and your business in such a way. It was so nice to actually sit there, and they say, you know, your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. And that was like such a great moment.
That's what you want, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
what you want.
So last thing, like, so maybe before I let you guys go, where's your goal maybe in the next sort of 3 years? Like, where's your next stage? Where's your next steps?
So it's I'm still not sure which way we go, whether we go down the building on the self-employment route or employed route yet. But what I do know 100% is where we've stripped back, started putting the layers in to make a good foundation. So we've now got a proper strategy of how we move forward and how we grow, is to fill those gaps in as we go, because we've got gaps that are there now, but it's now a case of let's grow before we fill them and put the right things in place to make sure all of our vision is happening in the right way. I don't want to rush it like I did last time. So
it's the first line of it saying no expensive managers.
Absolutely. Ultimately, it's all driven for the customer, right? So you want the customer experience to be the best experience. So, and because things are changing so fast, that recruitment role, if you like, is changing. What you think you need now, is going to be different in a few months' time. So it's about making sure that we don't just knee-jerk now and go, right, I want to fill that, because that job's going to change. So it's understanding where that is. At the moment, what we're doing is building the right focusing on the brand recognition, because we haven't had it. We've been going for X amount of time. We've relied upon, I suppose, our reputations in the industry in terms of recommendations, referrals, people who have used us want to use us again. People who've used me, know what I do.
There's always a limit of those people you can find, isn't it? Absolutely. You realise there's this massive pool of people who are like on TikTok scanning through and come across you and go, I have a valuation of this guy.
Absolutely. So that's the next process now. So we've got to strip it all back and go, right, let's get our brand out there. Let's show people we're here and what we do. And if you like what we do, we'd love to work with you. That's how that's going to work.
And it's a harder way of doing it, because most people go, do you know what? I need that market. I'm just going to pay someone to do it. And then I have conversations. I'm like, they're not getting anything from it. I was like, what are you giving them? I don't know, letting them do it. And it's like, you got no brand guidelines, you got no personality, you're just doing it the same as another agent down the road. Because the way, and then you wonder why you're still in the same position. But sometimes it's harder to actually go inward, strip it all back, have those difficult conversations. Like, why do we even exist?
It's uncomfortable.
Like, our logo is not good. Like, we want to revamp it because we need to represent our new version of ourselves. that logo was great 13 years ago, but like now it just doesn't represent us. And then you have the building blocks, the strategy to then say, right, when we do expose it, and these people get us, because they've been exposing it to 20, 30,000 views on TikTok. And
If it doesn't mean anything.
And it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
That's great. And then look behind the scenes and go, it's just another estate agent.
Yeah.
It's one of the things, like that 3-year thing, I think it's going in the right direction now, where we don't want to just rely on Rightmove, Zoopla, or any of them for valuations. We've got the gold mine in the system, but we strip back Rightmove to their basic package because we know the route to go down, which is the AI, which is we've gone down the ads route, and we're going to build it up through that way. So they're going to see our personalities from these ads running, and they're only going to come to us if they want to come to us. We're not forcing anyone to come to us. They'll buy into what we're doing through these ads or through the videos they see when they go on our Instagram, our TikTok, and go, oh my goodness, these are the guys I want to use. We're not trying to force every Tom, Dick and Harry to come to us. You've got to buy into us. It's not just about a one way where you try and list everything now. It's, well, actually, if you buy into us, then perfect. You know, we're the right match, but sometimes it might not be, because if you're not going to go down the route that we want to go down, i.e. marketing, i.e. whatever it is, then we're not going to work from day one. So try that other agent.
And actually, it's quite interesting because, like, when you do get on video, the biggest fear that sometimes get on video is accepting the fact that some people will watch that video and go, don't like that person.
Yeah.
And you go, that's fine, but there's going to be another person. Like, if you rule off, we always say the rule to agents saying like 30 to 40% conversion rate. If you can convert that many people in your business, that's a standard. If you think you're 75%, then you're not really concerned about whether you're too cheap. And if you're below that, you need training, development, of like how you are putting that across. And people are just accepting the fact that, like, out of two out of three people are not going to want to use you, but you're just trying to find the one. And when you know that, like you said, then you can expand it out, and then it's a case of automating it in a way that is still person-centric, it's still human-led, it's still data-driven.
Everyone understands the roles.
Yeah, 100%.
So you're not going to get sellers that are demanding more than what you're offering, or demanding less, or not getting what you're wanting. We've told you from day dot, this is what we do. If you don't like it, then obviously there's other agents that you know of. Yeah. But you've bought into what we do, so we don't have these conversations anymore of going, oh my goodness, it's not working out, or this, I want you to do this. No, we've already done it, because you know we've done it.
And then and agents being frustrated with that. I see so many agents out there frustrated. It's like, that's a you problem. It's not their problem
as well.
It's a you problem that you haven't created the rules of engagement.
Yeah,
isn't it? I realise I've got an hour chatting to you. I'll probably chat to you a lot longer. I'll probably get told off on this one. But yeah, I just want to say thanks for joining us today. Really enjoyed your conversation. And anyone wants to follow you, where's best to follow you?
TownandCityHomes.com.
Probably my one. Luke Sells Homes.
Luke Sells Homes on TikTok. Yeah, you get a couple more followers in there. You probably get abusive comments.
If you want to put them in,
agents, so 20,
we're going to give it back.
20, 30 agents out there in your area.
If they don't like it, put it, I'll reply back, I tell you, with the same message.
Perfect. But I appreciate you joining, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for listening to this Estate Agency X podcast. Can you make sure that you're actually subscribed to this podcast channel if you liked the content? It helps us massively to get better guests, and it just helps us generally. So you might think you're subscribed, but just have a double check, whatever your podcast platform of preference is, that you're actually subscribed, and then that way we can continue to grow the channel and get better and better guests for you.